Yes guys, welcome back to the JackC99 Vlogs YouTube channel guys. Before this video starts, make sure you like, subscribe, enable notifications which notifies you every single time I upload a YouTube video. Guys, it's that time of the season again. It is the Scottish Premiership predictions for the 2025-26 season as the season starts in August. So guys, as it always works with our league predictions, start off at number 12, work our way to the top, give my honest opinions on why each club will finish where they have been predicted to finish and why. Is Livingston, newly promoted side of Livingston. Why do I think they will finish in this position? The reason I've put Livingston 12th is because I feel like the players they've signed are not Premiership experienced. Why sign players that don't have Premiership experience is just my questionable opinion. The squad that Livingston has, I just don't think that is strong enough to compete in the Scottish Premiership. That's why I've put Livingston 12th, because I think their squad's not going to be strong enough to compete in the Scottish Premiership. Stephen Presley's side, Dundee. Now, this is an interesting one because I've actually watched Dundee, bearing in mind that they got bet by Airdrieonians and Alloa Athletic. Alloa Athletic. The only player that stands out for Dundee for me, and I will say it, the same as last season, Simon Murray. He was good for them last season. He scored the most important goals to keep Dundee safe for staying up last season. Luckily, the only thing that's going to be a real struggle for Dundee this season, their star players have all gone. There's only one left, and that's Simon Murray is the only remaining player. Everyone else is left. Luke McCowan, they lost him last season to Celtic. This season, they've lost Lyle Cameron. He's away to Rangers. They've lost Josh Mulligan. He's away to Hibernian FC on a 4-year deal. There's a post earlier this month saying Stephen Presley will be lucky if he's still the Dundee manager come August. I don't see Stephen Presley lasting long as manager. I think he'll be sacked by Christmas in my opinion, because I don't think he's got the right expectations as a manager to take Dundee forward. That is why I've put Dundee 11th, because I just don't think they're going to get anywhere under Stephen Presley. I think Stephen Presley will probably be sacked by Christmas. Now, the reason Falkirk are in 10th is because they've not really added to the squad very well. Now, I know that Falkirk did sign Brian Graham for Partick Thistle, a good signing. We've seen how he's played at Partick Thistle. I just don't think they've got the strength, mentality, experience in that squad to get top six. They have got a good manager there, but at the same time, if you didn't add to your squad, you don't get the goals that you're looking for as well. That is why I've put Falkirk 10th. I don't see a lot happening at Falkirk this season. It'll take a few seasons for them to settle back into the Scottish Premiership after them being absent for the Premiership for 15 whole years. That is a long time. They will build on that. They will get stronger as the seasons progress. And I know that they'll finish 10th. I'm confident on that. They're a good squad. There's nothing negative to really say about Kilmarnock. They've done well on the build-up to the new season. Stuart Kettlewell as a manager, taking Kilmarnock forward after Derek McInnes leaving to go to Hearts. How's that going to really affect Kilmarnock as a team? They've lost Fraser Murray. They've literally lost quite a lot of players as well. Why do I think Kilmarnock will finish 9th? The reason being is they've kind of worked around that part of the league ever since returning to top flight football. I don't think Stuart Kettlewell's the manager to take them forward as a manager. Derek McInnes leaving Kilmarnock, how much is that going to affect Kilmarnock as a football club moving forward? Kilmarnock fans, let me know your thoughts on what you think about Kilmarnock heading into the new season, where you think they'll finish. The manager's a nobody, never ever heard of him, even with doing my research. There's not a lot I know about this guy, but I've actually watched Motherwell under this new manager. They're kind of performing the exact same. Really done much as a squad. Even watching them in the cup games, they've not really done much. They've still got Paul McGinn as captain, really good player. That's a player you want to keep. The only reason I've put Motherwell this low is because what's the future holding for Lennon Miller? There's a lot going on at Motherwell, and Lennon Miller's been linked with Celtic, Rangers, a bunch of others. Is Motherwell going to manage to hang on to Lennon Miller? I think he might be away, and I think that's going to be a really big loss, and that is what will affect Motherwell even more. And I think that's what's definitely going to be the crumble of Motherwell, and it's going to be hard for the new manager to keep Motherwell's squad together. The reason I've put Dundee United 7th is because I think with them competing in European football, it'll put a huge impact on their league form. Another reason why I think they'll finish 7th is the players that they have brought in do not have Premiership experience, and that's just bizarre. Why you would do that? You would want to bring in players with high quality, good quality experience moving forward. Jim Goodwin's not done that. On the build-up to the new season, they've actually done pretty well. They've won their Europa Conference League first leg. That's a start. A very comfortable 1-0 win. Pre-seasons went well for them. Jim Goodwin is a good manager, no matter what anybody says on that criteria. It'll not be like the previous time when they played in Europe and then they ended up getting relegated the exact same season. That won't happen, because Jim Goodwin has got a squad there that will help keep them up. It's the St Mirren, Steve Robinson's St Mirren. Now, I've actually watched them on the build-up to the season as well, because I like to do that just to get a rough idea. I think St Mirren can actually get top 6 for the 4th time asking. They've built well, and I think moving forward, they can get top 6 again. If they can do it 3 times in a row, I think they can do it 4 times. The midfield, still a bit open as well, so there's a wee bit of work to get done there. But I think they can improve on that, and that's why I've put St Mirren in the top 6. They're a really strong side that can hold on to playing in top 6 football. They deserve top 6 football because they've shown that they're a top 6 team. They're that strong. And the reason I've put Aberdeen 4th is because with them competing in Europe, I think they'll dip in form. I think it'll be a bit much. And that's the thing with playing in European football. It does affect your form. I've seen it as a Hibs fan. It does affect your form mentally. The thing that left me speechless last season was Aberdeen winning the Scottish Cup. I did not see that coming when the game started. I thought Celtic were going to win it. Aberdeen won the Scottish Cup for the first time in 35 years against Celtic, winning on penalties like they did 35 years ago. It was basically history repeating itself for Aberdeen when they done that. It's just crazy what football does. Aberdeen fans, let me know your thoughts on your team. We competing in Europe, where you think Aberdeen will finish personally. And it's Hearts that are up next in 4th place, and the reason I've put Hearts 4th, new manager, new signings, and there's a lot to talk about. Talking on the new signings, 7 new signings. There's also good players that Hearts still have. You've got Blair Spittle, you've got Craig Gordon, Warren Shankland on a contract extension. But the signings that Hearts have brought in are a bit bizarre because they don't have any Premiership experience. And I do agree with Mikey SPFL on TikTok. It is a bit risky doing it that way. I can see why, because then if they've not got Premiership experience, that's where you're going to think 2 of their signings are injury prone. You're talking about that as well, because the Norwegian player that they signed, he was injury prone. But Derek McInnes is a good manager. You look at his history as a manager, going back to when he was Aberdeen manager to where he is now. He's helped Kilmarnock to promotion. He's done well with Kilmarnock. Not as good as anybody would think he has. I'd say his best time as a manager was Aberdeen manager. That's my honest opinion. Derek McInnes is a good manager appointment for Hearts. The question is, can he get the new signings to help Hearts achieve what they want this season? I think he can, and I think they can finish 4th. That's just my honest opinion on where they will finish under Derek McInnes. The only reason I have put Hearts 4th is because I think they'll drop a few points. They might dip in form, not massively, but they will secure 4th. They will get European football. Derek McInnes will guide them to that. You never know what can happen in the Scottish Premiership. That's just my honest opinion, and that's why I've put Hearts 4th place. 3rd place, and I've went with David Gray's side, Hibernian FC. Yep, the famous Hibernian FC, who are celebrating their 150th anniversary. The reason I've put Hibs to finish 3rd is we've had a very good summer window. We've brought in really good signings as well. We've built well. We've also signed players on contract extensions as well. Players that we've signed on contract extensions: Jordan Smith, Jack Iredale, Rocky Bashiri, Chris Cadden, Lewis Miller, Martin Boyle, Jordan Obita. We have brought in players as well. The signings that David Gray has brought in this summer window: brought in a new goalkeeper, we brought in the new striker from Luzerne. We desperately needed, because we needed a new striker to help out the likes of Kieran Bowie, Martin Boyle. We've brought in Jamie McGrath on a 4-year deal for Aberdeen. We've brought in Josh Mulligan from Dundee, 4-year deal. David Gray is building something special at Hibs, and I know that. I can see that. Every Hibs fan that sits in the seats of Easter Road can see that. David Gray knows what he wants the club to achieve moving forward. He's had the time to do that. He's been given the time. Very interesting one, Rangers, who are under new management as well. And there's a lot to talk about on Rangers as well. I think it was near the end of last season, the deal of the 49ers takeover, that also happened. And there's been a lot of work behind the scenes at Rangers. A lot of players came in, a lot of bizarre signings as well. I'm using that word quite a lot lately. I will agree with Mikey SPFL from TikTok again on this one. A lot of bizarre signings that Rangers have signed. Not a lot of Premiership experience. Don't know the Scottish game, which is quite understandable because I can see where he's coming from, because a lot of the players that they've brought in, quite a lot of players, the way I see it, Rangers still do need to add a few to that squad, like need another 4 signings or something. Work went into this team getting built up because Rangers fans wanted to see change. They're getting to see that now, and I think even although it's bizarre signings and it's a bit of a risk bringing in players that don't know the Scottish game, a bit risky, but at the same time you never know what can happen at Rangers, because they will train their players up and they will play Scottish football and they'll prove us all wrong. That's just what happens in Scottish football. You just don't know a player's next move. My thoughts on Russell Martin, I don't really know, because there has been a lot of divided opinions on Russell Martin as well. How good he is, how bad he is as a manager as well. How do I see Rangers doing next season? It all depends on how the new players progress throughout the new season. That is why I've put Rangers second, because I think they'll dip in form with competing in Champions League, but they will still do good in like the Old Firm derbies, and they will prove that they're a Glasgow club, which they always have been. They are a second best club. They have proven that, even though last season wasn't the best. This season will be better. First place, and yep, you've guessed it here first, it's Brendan Rodgers, Celtic. A lot to talk about, departures, incomings, outgoings. There has been quite a few departures at Celtic this summer window. There's been like about 2 departures. There has been a lot of stuff happening, like Kwon, he's left, who was on loan at Hibs last season. How much is Celtic really going to see of Kieran Tierney? Probably not that much, because he's getting to the stage where injury prone. If you get an injury at his age, I've seen it at Arsenal. He was injured more than he played. Didn't work out when he went to Arsenal. He kind of got quite a few injuries, and it kind of was quite a shame to see, because he's a young Scottish international. I can kind of understand why Kieran Tierney wanted a new challenge down in English football. There has been players in the Celtic squad that have went down to English football for a new challenge. But Celtic fans, let me know your thoughts, and let me know your thoughts on your team. Apart from that, guys, that is my Scottish Premiership predictions for the 2025-26 season. Let me know your thoughts on your teams for the new season ahead. Guys, make sure to like, subscribe, enable notifications so that you don't miss out on any future uploads on the Jack C99 Vlogs YouTube channel. Huge shout outs go to my friend Peter Henderson and Matty and Long Bangers. The next vlog on this channel will be Hibernian's second leg of the European tie at Easter Road on Thursday night. And apart from that, guys, I will catch you guys in the next vlog. Facing it all, fearless.